Well, hey guys, what's up? It's your boy, one and only animation legends, and yeah, guys, today I am back with the next part of what if Naruto was neglected by his family and decided to absorb all the powers of Alien X. So yeah, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed the previous part of the series, and if you guys have not seen it, please guys check it out. You guys will definitely like it. And yeah, guys, before starting this video, I would like to make a request to all of you guys who are watching this video. If you guys are new to the channel or if you guys have not subscribed yet, please guys do so. It would be very helpful to me as I want to reach 20k subscribers on this channel, and you guys subscribing would be really appreciated. So please guys do so. So without any further ado, let us start the video. Last time we left off as we saw that Naruto, who was training in the training ground 7, was noticed by the Ambu of Root Division as Root Ambu decided to explain the situation to Shimura Danzo, who at the moment was in a council meeting with the Elder Council. As Shimura Danzo was furious about the situation, he wanted Menma to be a part of his Root organization. He didn't care much about Mito. Menma obviously had greater potential, and that was the reason they had came up with the whole plan of forcing Minato to hand over one of his children. But the plan was utterly destroyed by the cunning of the fourth Hokage. He named Menma directly the heir of the Uzumaki lineage. So therefore, if they really force Menma into the Root Division, then the other members of the different clans will definitely not agree to the matter, and they will be even more wary of Third Hokage as well as Danzo. They had already Third Hokage was no longer in power, so therefore situation will become even more complicated, and the power of Fourth Hokage will definitely increase because of this decision, and they cannot move against Mito because the Uchiha clan is nothing to scoff at, while on the other hand they were thinking about the whole matter. But Root Ambu explained the situation to Danzo, who had just left the at the council. But when Danzo heard about the potential of Naruto, he was taken aback at that and quickly went back to see what kind of power Naruto truly possessed. And once he saw the power of Rasen Shuriken, he was taken aback at that and decided to go back to the Elder Council. As Danzo told all the elders that Minato is need to be taught a lesson. He must contribute to Konoha, even though he's the Hokage, but the Uzumaki clan must make contributions to Konoha if Menma and Mito are truly out of, you can say, out of consideration. But what about his elder son Naruto Uzumaki? He's no longer the heir of the Uzumaki clan, and he's not a Jinchuriki, so he must be given to Root for training. When Third Hokage heard that, he started to think about it. The power of Fourth Hokage is growing so rapidly. Even Third Hokage is worried about the situation. After all, the power which Minato is getting is from the hands of Third Hokage, so therefore Third decided to agree to the matter and decided to pay a visit to Hokage office as Minato was present along with Jiraiya. But when they heard the proposal of Danzo and Third Hokage, they were taken aback at that, especially Minato, who thought that his family was finally safe. As he looked towards Third Hokage and decided to question this so-called decision, but Third Hokage told him that this was a decision made long ago. All clans contribute to Root, and Ambu and Minato's Uzumaki clan is no exception. He has protected Menma and Mito, and they accept that decision. But what about Naruto? He must contribute to Konoha. As Minato could not say anything about the matter, as Naruto was taken away by the Root Ambu, as Naruto was furious about it. But Shimura Danzo told him that if he is able to defeat a Jonin, then he will allow him to have a discussion with his father. As Naruto decided to use the power of Rasen Shuriken and decided to get rid of the Jonin. As afterward, he had a, you can say, audience with Minato. But when Minato, you can say, looked towards Naruto, he only had small bit of guilt in his eyes and explained the situation that Naruto must contribute to Konoha. But Naruto simply told him that he's just trying to protect Menma and Mito and throw him under the bus. And afterward, Naruto quickly ran towards his home, hoping that Kushina will protect him. But it was a disappointment, as they were looking like a perfect family, as one more would truly be one excessive. And just like that, Naruto finally returned back to the Root Ambu, ready to accept his life there, and finally went to his dream to see his baby Alien X. As unknowingly Naruto merged with baby Alien X, as the consciousness present in the Alien X were not birthed just yet. So therefore Naruto was able to enter his body, and just like that got a fraction of the power of Alien X. And afterward Naruto finally woke up in real world with pure madness in his eyes and lust for power of Alien X. And just like that, that was the last part of the series. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. So let us start the story from here. So now the story begins with the 8 year of timescape. At the moment, our protagonist at the age of 16 was looking was flying within mid-air and looking down upon a battlefield. This was no longer the world of Naruto, but rather a completely different timeline of Naruto world. And at the moment, Naruto was looking towards the battle of four great ninja villages seemed to be attacking the redheads of the Uzumaki village. Yes, Naruto has finally decided to use the power of his Ryujigen. In these 8 years, Naruto has completely became a different person. He was so indifferent to everyone and anyone, as he has completely given up on his so-called family. He no longer has any expectation of Minato as well as Kushina. As for Menma and Mito, Naruto simply ignored them. They were nowhere near at his level. 8 years ago, he went to his dreams and merged with the powers of baby Alien X, but it was only a fraction of the power of Alien X. It was nowhere near the level that was the true power of Alien X. But after that, Naruto was somehow unable to get into the forge of creation using the power of his Ryujigen. Naruto was taken aback at that. While the power he has gained from baby Alien X, it was great, powerful enough to dominate the shinobi world, but it was nowhere near the true potential of Alien X, as Naruto wanted all that power for himself. As Naruto has realized that because of the consciousness of other people, Naruto cannot merge with them. Once he used the Ryujigen, he can only take over or rather merge with his other selves in other timelines, because essentially they are the same people, but baby Alien X is a different entity. His true consciousness has not been born just yet, so therefore Naruto can merge with him temporarily and gain the powers of baby Alien X. But after that experience, somehow his connection to the forge of creation was cut off and he was no longer able to access that realm. That made Naruto furious, but because of that anger, Naruto realized another aspect of the power of his Ryujigen. After merging with the power of baby Alien X, now he can actually access other timelines. No longer he has to dream about these timelines. No, he can go there directly, and this was the power he has used to access other timeline. At the moment, Naruto was looking towards the so-called destruction of the Uzumaki village, but Naruto didn't care about it. These were no longer his people. Once he had given up on Kushina, the Uzumaki clan also became nothing in his eyes. As at the moment, Naruto was here for a particular purpose. Naruto has learned everything about seals that there is to know in the Konoha village, but the seals were not enough. Naruto required more knowledge about the matter because Naruto wanted to absorb all the power of Alien X, because if Osmosians like Kevin and Egregor has the potential to absorb Alien X, then Naruto also wanted that kind of power, and there is only one thing that can grant him, that is a seal, a powerful seal that can merge the power of Alien X or directly take it from him and give him to him. That is the power Naruto required, and for that, Naruto has come back to the Uzumaki country in a different timeline, as Naruto finally floated down towards the Uzumaki village and started to walk there, but no one noticed him. After all, Naruto was using the powers of Alien X he has gained from baby Alien X, and at the moment he was walking towards the vault of the Uzumaki village. As Naruto finally arrived at the vault, there were several seals there, but Naruto simply casually moved his hand, and just like that, all seals started to stop working. As Naruto finally opened the vault, as all the knowledge of the Uzumaki village was present here, as Naruto casually put it away and started to walk back towards his portal, but suddenly a figure spoke up, "Stop!" As Naruto looked back to see that it was the old man, but badly injured. As the old man was looking towards Naruto, you're a descendant of Uzumaki, help us." As Naruto simply casually looked towards him, "You are not worthy of my help." As Naruto started to walk away, suddenly two figures appeared in front of Naruto with rapid speed, trying to attack him. As Naruto casually looked towards, it was none other than the third Raikage as well as the third Tsuchikage of this timeline who was attacked Naruto. As third Raikage spoke out, "You brat, how dare you take away the inheritance of the Uzumaki clan, hand it over to me." As Naruto casually looked towards the third Raikage, step away. As third Raikage gritted his teeth at that, "You die." Just like that, he rushes towards Naruto with one finger pointed towards Naruto. Naruto simply sighed and casually moved his hand, and just like that, Naruto grabbed the finger and twisted it. And just like that, the arm of complete Raikage was ripped away by Naruto's immense force. As Raikage screamed in pure pain and agony, as Naruto casually pointed one finger on the forehead of third Raikage, and finally, made contact with the head of third Raikage before the third Raikage even knew it. His whole body exploded in pure blood. Even though Naruto has gotten a small fraction of the power of Alien X, but Alien X is still Alien X. That power is more than enough to dominate the shinobi world. Not only that, Naruto was rather busy using the power of his Ryujigen. He's going into the other timelines as well as merging with his other selves. There were many powerful versions of him in other timelines like Osusuke Naruto, the Senju Naruto, Uchiha Naruto, many Naruto are present there. Even a fraction of their powers was more than enough to bring Naruto to a level that no one in the shinobi world is a match for him any longer. As Naruto looked towards the third Tsuchikage, who had prepared his, you can say, technique and finally unleashed it towards Naruto, third Tsuchikage Onoki was now panicking. The power of third Raikage, even he had to admit it, that was a tough nut to crack, and this guy has killed him just like that. It was nothing. As Naruto casually looked towards the third Tsuchikage and moved his hand, and just like that, the technique of Tsuchikage was absorbed by Naruto as Naruto moved his hand, and third Tsuchikage stopped within mid-air as if his whole body has paralyzed as Naruto moved his hand, and just like that, third Tsuchikage started to come towards him as Naruto grabbed him by the neck and twisted his head in the opposite direction, and just like that, third Tsuchikage of this timeline was also killed off by Naruto as Naruto started to float within mid-air and finally looked down to see that all the forces of the Uzumaki clan were already slaughtered and the survivors were already running away. As Naruto also noticed that it was the shinobi of Konoha who were taking away Kushina as well as the scrolls of the Uzumaki clan, but Naruto simply ignored it. It doesn't matter to him. As Naruto noticed that there were also three tails as well as four tails that were present here. As Naruto's eyes narrowed at that, in his previous experiments, Naruto was unable to take away the bijus of this timeline of other timelines. It was because bijus are now have become the part of nature, the very laws and you can say concepts of reality in this world. If Naruto can truly take them away, then the world will not allow it, while he can forcefully take them away and absorb their chakra because of the power of Alien X. But if he really did that, the world will truly shatter and he would not be able to, you can say, use his abilities as openly as before. So Naruto cannot take away the bijus of these other timelines, but Naruto simply shook his head at that. He required massive amount of chakra. Naruto has already made his plans clear. He required massive amount of chakra to be in his body, using it as a medium and forcefully entering into the world of the forge of creation and absorbing the power of Alien X. That is Naruto's plan. But for that, he required massive amount of chakra, while Naruto thought that he can take it away from these other timelines, but it seemed that it will not work because the bijus has become concepts and reality of these other timelines. And once Naruto take them away into other universes or other timelines, these worlds will shatter. So therefore, it will make complications for Naruto himself. As Naruto simply shook his head at that, while the four great ninja villages shinobi looked towards the flying form of Naruto, as Naruto casually moved his finger, as a, you can say, black dot started to appear on his finger, quite similar to the body of Alien X, as Naruto casually threw it in the midst of the shinobi forces of four great ninja villages. While he didn't care much about the Uzumaki country or the Uzumaki village or its people, but they were still on his land, so therefore he needs to teach these other villages a lesson. And just like that, Naruto dropped the power of Alien Air in the midst of it, and everything was silent for a second, and just like that, a huge explosion took place. The world shattering explosion almost shattered the entire reality of this universe, as there was a huge light erupted from the area where it was dropped as everything turned into nothingness. Not even dust was left behind. All the 40,000 shinobi brought by these four villages were turned to utter dust. As Naruto casually looked towards the direction of Konoha, but decided not to make a move and finally decided to fly away towards his original timeline. As Naruto finally arrived in his original timeline in the root base, as Naruto casually walked towards the head of the, you can say, office of the Root organization as all the members of the Root organization were present there as Naruto casually walked towards the seat where Shimura Danzo used to sit upon and casually take his seat as he was looking towards his subordinates. So, did you get all the information I asked you to? As some of the members of Root organization stepped forward, Lord Naruto would have gotten the information from black market as well as the information you had asked us to gather. It seemed that an organization is also competing with us for this purpose as Naruto has narrowed at that. And what is this organization? As Naruto already have an idea about it. After all, he is always going to other timelines, so he already knew that many timelines are similar. As the Root Ambu spoke up, the Akatsuki organization seemed to have similar plans of gathering all the bijus for their purposes. As Naruto's eyes narrowed at that, Akatsuki, Uchiha Obito, Uchiha Madara, the Ten Tails. Yes, Naruto had his eyes set on Ten Tails as well as Kaguya Ususuke. The power of Kaguya, once Naruto used all the power of Ten Tails and gave it to his Ryujigan, he can forcefully enter into the world of the Forge of Creation and get the power of Alien X for himself. The power of Ten Tails, it is nothing. Only someone like Uchiha Madara will believe that it is a great power. No, Naruto didn't care about it. His true power comes from Alien X, but he required chakra to for his Ryujigan to truly work. As Naruto simply smirked at that. Alright then. Do not worry about the matter. It is time that we get rid of the nuisance that is called Shimura Danzo. Yes, Naruto, after gaining the power of the Alien X, has made many changes. 8 years were more than enough for Naruto to turn completely dark, or rather, a completely different person. He didn't care about anything about his so-called family, his parents, his siblings, or Konoha, or anything like that. His one obsession was to complete his power. As Naruto looked towards his hand, which turned into pure black, as shining stars were shining inside of them. This was just like the hand or the body of Alien X. This was just a small fraction of the power Naruto has gotten from Alien X, but it was not enough. Naruto wanted the complete power of Alien X, and for that, he needs to go to the Forge of Creation. For that, the power of Ten Tails is necessary. As Naruto simply smirked at that, as Naruto finally stood up, while on the other hand, in the house of the third Hokage, Shimura Danzo seemed to be quite looking smug as third Hokage looked towards his old friend. Danzo, you seem to be rather happy. As Danzo simply smirked at that, as other elder, as Koharu speak up, I have heard that Root Ambu is lately becoming quite powerful, and I have heard that you have also gotten a quite powerful subordinate. Why not share some things with old friends Danzo? As Danzo simply chuckled at that, well, let me tell you that Uzumaki Naruto that I've gotten from that fourth Hokage is quite something. Previously, I knew that he had great potential, but let me tell you that his potential even surpasses his father. That kid has reached a level that I cannot even explain it to you. As everyone was taken aback at that, as Hiruzen looked towards Danzo with complicated expression on his face. Previously, he was taken aback when Danzo wanted Naruto to be a part of Root, but he thought that Danzo only wanted to teach Minato a lesson. But it seemed that his old friend had hidden away such a gem. It seemed that Danzo knew about the potential of Naruto. He only used them like a gun to get what he wanted, as Koharu also realized it, as well as Hamura, but they cannot do anything about the matter. After all, that was 8 years ago, and there is nothing they can do about it. It seemed that the relationship between third Hokage and fourth Hokage had gotten even more tense after that incident, and Tadokage after some time regretted his decision. That was rather emotional decision, even though he had helped Danzo get Naruto from Minato, but that did not give any advantage to Tadokage himself, as after some time he had also realized that fact. As Tadokage simply shook his head at that, Danzo, I hope that you will not be so rash about the matters. What Konoha right now needs is stability. As Danzo simply scoffed at that, these people do not know the power of Naruto. Even Danzo could not believe what kind of power Naruto truly possessed. Even cage level shinobis were taken care of Naruto like they were nothing. Even the Jonins are nothing more than just that. Naruto can easily take care of them. Even Shimura Danzo could not believe that anyone could have this kind of potential, and Danzo Shimura dare say that he has the same potential as the first Hokage himself. As Danzo had Naruto completely under his control. Well, that is something Danzo actually believed, as Danzo simply scoffed at that and finally stood up. Alright then, I will be going back to my route. And just like that, Danzo started to walk away as Danzo was looking quite happy with the whole matter. He had already made preparations. It is only the matter of time that he will make a move against the fourth Hokage. After all, soon enough, Shimura Danzo will become the fifth Hokage, as Danzo simply smirked at that and started to walk away while Hiruzen simply had his eyes narrowed towards Danzo. It seemed that he needs to have a discussion with Minato, while on the other hand, in the Hokage office, Minato Namikaze was doing his paperwork, and around him were the two Sanin, Jiraiya, and Tsunade. They had taken the position of Koharu and Hamura as the elders of Konoha. Well, more like unofficial elders, because Third Hokage will never hand over his power even to his own disciples. As Jiraiya looked towards Minato. Well, Minato, Chunin exams are gonna come in 6 months. If I'm not mistaken, graduation has already begun. So what are we gonna do about Menma and Mito? They are already on a level of Jonin, and Menma is already on a level of elite Jonin. I'm rather proud of him, Minato. As Minato simply nodded at that. Well, Sensei, I've already made the teams. Menma, Mito, and Sasuke Uchiha are gonna be a part of a team. As Jiraiya simply smirked at that. Are you sure about it, Minato? This kind of overpowered team. Are you sure that other clans will not object to this matter? As Minato simply shook his head at that. I've already talked with them and they have agreed to the whole matter. After all, they're all our children, and Sasuke Uchiha is gonna be the son-in-law of the Uzumaki family, so there is little the other clans can do in the matter. As Jiraiya simply nodded at that. Well, enough about that, Sensei. Have you completed the mission that I have given you? As Jiraiya finally came to serious expression. Yes, Minato, I have gotten the information what you wanted. As Jiraiya simply sighed at that and finally brought out the scroll from his, you can say, jacket, as he threw it towards Minato. As Minato opened the scroll. So, this is the information you have gathered about that figure. As Jiraiya simply nodded at that. Yes, Minato, he is wearing the fox mask, and you're right, he's one of Danzo Shimura's Ambu. As Minato gritted his teeth at that. Lately, the power of Root is increasing rapidly because Shimura Danzo has a powerful figure within the Mates of Root organization. Minato had an inkling that who could this figure truly be, but deep down, Minato was ignoring this fact. As Minato looked towards the many, you can say, missions that were done by this figure, as Minato also had a, you can say, drop of sweat on his forehead and a bit of nervousness in his, you can say, eyes, because this figure is simply too powerful. Lately, the grass hidden village was annihilated, completely annihilated. Nothing was left behind in the village, and it was suspected by Minato and Tadokage that it was the doing of Shimura Danzo, because many important scrolls as well as resources of the village were taken away, as well as a powerful box by the name of Box of Ultimate Blaze was also taken away by the, you can say, this figure, and they believe that it was the doing of Shimura Danzo. While the grass village is just that, they didn't care much about it, but it is said that only one figure had done all of this kind of figure. No one knows who it is, only know that this guy wears a fox mask. As Minato closes his eyes, Sensei, are you sure about his identity? As there was silence in the whole room, as Jiraiya simply sighed at that. While Minato, I am not 100% sure, but there is a 80% chance that it is him. As Minato simply sighs and closes his eyes at that. Previously, he had believed that Minma had the greatest potential among all of his children. That was one of the factors on basis of which Minato decided to name Menma as the heir of the Uzumaki family, but it seemed that Naruto's potential, he had truly underestimated him. If he truly was Naruto, what kind of training he had gone through and what kind of power he had truly gained. The grass hidden village, one figure annihilated the entire village. And do not underestimate it just because the grass hidden village is a small village. A major village has at one point 300 standing jonin, but a small village like Grass Village can still bring out 80 to 90 jonins quite easily, as well as a large force in thousands of chunins, while they are not on the level of major villages, because the major villages possess different clans who also have their own strength. So that is one of the reasons that major villages and minor villages at top of their strength can still bring out 10,000 shinobi, no trouble whatsoever. And for one figure to defeat such a powerful number, it was really worrying. So what are the odds, Sensei? If it truly is him, he can return back to us. As there was dead silence in the whole room, as Tsunade simply scoffed at that as she looked towards Minato and Jiraiya. I believe that Jiraiya is just overestimating the boy. I believe that this is the working of Shimura Danzo. He must be trying to promote the reputation of that kid and trying to force him in a position so that he can be a challenge for you, Minato. Do not overestimate this figure even if it is him. As Minato simply shook his head at that. Alright then, do not worry about it, I will handle the matter. As Sonata simply nodded at that. Alright, I'm going to train Mito. As afterward, Tsunade disappeared as Jiraiya looked towards Minato and put a hand on his shoulder. No matter what, Minato, he's still your son. And I know that if you really talk with him, he will understand your difficulties. As Minato looked towards his sensei, well sensei, but if he doesn't want to return, as and then Jiraiya's eyes narrowed at that. If Naruto really doesn't want to return, then it is time that we make a move against Shimura Danzo. As Minato was taken aback at that, as Jiraiya simply smiled at that. Well kid, previously I was, you can say, confused between you and the third Hokage, while you are my proudest disciple Minato, but third Hokage is also my master. Both of you are the Hokages and both of you wanted the power of Konoha. In reality, I didn't want any part of it because either way I go, I will offend the other party. But I have seen you, Minato. You have grown up and you are the worthy Hokage and Sensei is getting old. While I cannot directly make a move against my master, but the power held by the other elders needs to be taken away. Yes, Minato, I believe that in the next council meeting of the Jonin, it is time to get rid of Koharu and Hamura, and you can promote me and Tsunade as your elders. I believe that even the third Hokage will have nothing to say in the matter. As for Shimura Danzo, it will be a tough nut to crack, but we will try to take away some of his powers as well. As Minato was taken aback at that, this is something he wanted for a long time, but he did not want to put his sensei in an awkward position because while he knows that his sensei liked him and both of them were master and disciple, but that is true for Jiraiya as well as the third Hokage as well. So Minato was caught in a difficult situation because all the power of the council is in the hands of third Hokage and Minato only has small fraction of powers that he was able to take away from third Hokage and the elder council. But it seems that his sensei is finally coming around, and maybe it is time that the era of fourth Hokage is gonna begin soon enough. As Minato simply smiled at that. Alright, sensei, in the next Jonin Council, we're gonna take away all the power. As Jiraiya simply laughed at that and decided to jump out of, you can say, window to do his research. While on the other hand, in the root base, Shimura Danzo finally entered, but something is off. Shimura Danzo lately was feeling that something is really off in the root base. As Shimura Danzo finally entered into his root base, as he started to look around, as he gave a signal, as a root Ambu appeared, bring Uzumaki Naruto to me in the main base. As Shimura Danzo started to walk away, as root Ambu was silent for a second and disappeared. As Shimura Danzo finally arrived to his, you can say, to his main throne and decided to take his seat. In front of him were all the Ambu of Root, as Shimura Danzo simply smirked at that. These were the bases of his, you can say, taking power from Minato as well as the third Hokage. Even third Hokage in his time had to be careful around Danzo. These were 130 Root Ambu he had trained over the year. This was a powerful force in the hands of Shimura Danzo. Many of them were on the level of Jonin and some of them were even on the level of Elite Jonin. It is a pity that he was unable to make Cage level Shinobi from his Root Ambu. As finally a figure finally appeared with a fox mask on his head and finally started to walk towards Shimura Danzo. As Shimura Danzo looked towards the only cage level shinobi under his command, well, that is something Shimura Danzo believed that Naruto is on a level of cage. But in reality, Naruto has already surpassed any you get so-called qualifications of a shinobi and ranking of such. of such powers. As Naruto looked towards Shimura Danzo simply smirked at that. Well, Uzumaki Naruto, you have truly become a powerful shinobi over the years, but it is time that you complete your final mission, and that is to assassinate the fourth Hokage and get rid of the third Hokage as well. As Shimura Danzo was ready to make his move. After all, he was waiting for all these years. He's getting old. He needs to become Hokage now, otherwise, he will not be able to become Hokage because he's already too old. Ashimura Danzo was ready for Naruto to nod and ready to assassinate the fourth Hokage. The power of Naruto, only he, Shimura Danzo, truly knows about it. No one in the shinobi world knows what kind of monster Naruto truly is. But there was a silence in the whole room. Ashimura Danzo's eyes narrowed at that. Could it be that Naruto, just because Minato is his father, is trying to rebel against him? But he simply scoffed at that idea. After all, Naruto was mocked with his seal, so therefore Naruto cannot disobey him, otherwise he will truly die. As Naruto finally decided to walk towards Shimura Danzo, as Shimura Danzo's eyes narrowed at that, as Naruto put his hand on his mask and finally decided to remove it and look towards Danzo with an amused expression on his face. And what makes you believe, Danzo, that I will obey your orders? As Danzo was taken aback at that, as Naruto simply chuckled at that and said, "You are sitting on my seat." And just like that, before Danzo even knew it, he was on the ground and Naruto was sitting on his previous throne. As Danzo looked towards Naruto with pure anger in his eyes, "You, Brad, do not go too far. While I appreciate your abilities, that doesn't mean that you are not indisposable." As Naruto looked towards Danzo as if he was looking towards an insect. That look angered Shimura Danzo enough. "Take him down." As Danzo gave orders to all of his root Ambu, but there was dead silence in the whole base. As Danzo was a bit confused as he looked towards his root Ambu, who were still kneeling towards the direction of Naruto. As Shimura Danzo stood up, "Can you not hear me? I'm giving you orders. Get rid of Uzumaki Naruto now." As there was once again dead silence in the whole base. But then it started to chuckle and it turned into full blown laughter as Naruto was looking towards Shimura Danzo while laughing. Poor Danzo, who doesn't even know that I have already taken away all of his power. This root base, you bringing it to me. Shimura Danzo, that was the worst mistake of your life. Did you honestly believe that a figure like me will obey your commands? You, a rat in the gutter, unworthy to be seen in light, are not worthy enough to give me orders. As Shimura Danzo was taken aback at that, he had never thought that anyone would have the audacity to talk to him in such a manner. As Danzo glared towards Naruto, "What did you do to my root? They are mine, my tools, my shinobi." As Naruto simply shook his head at that. 8 years. I have been here for 8 years, Shimura Danzo. In this time, I was doing many things. Taking control of the root organization was only one thing. Did you honestly believe that you were the one who's controlling me over the years? But in reality, I was the one in charge all along, Shimura Danzo. As Danzo gritted his teeth at that as he glared towards Naruto, he cannot believe it. But then Danzo simply smirked at that. "You have overestimated yourself, Uzumaki. Perhaps you've forgotten." With that, Shimura Danzo made a hand sign ready to subdue Naruto and all the root Ambu. But to Shimura Danzo's shock, there was a dead silence in the whole root base as Naruto simply chuckled at that. Naruto opened his mouth and finally brought out his tongue. To the shock of Danzo, the seal that was there had disappeared, while on the other hand, all the root Ambu removed their respective masks and also decided to show their respective tongues to Shimura Danzo. To Danzo's utter shock, the seals were no longer present there, as Naruto simply chuckled at that. It is noted that in the original timeline, after the death of Danzo, all the seals on the tongues of Root Ambu disappeared, so Naruto had only used a small trick. Using the power of Alien X, he made the connection between the seal and Shimura Danzo cut off, and Danzo was none the wiser while the connection was cut off. Therefore, the seals finally realized that Shimura Danzo was no more, so therefore the connection was simply disappeared and seals also disappeared because of it, as Naruto simply chuckled at that and the powers of Alien X cannot be underestimated, using it to, you can say, influence the mind of all of these people and taking control of them. They will now only obey him just like they used to obey Shimura Danzo. As Danzo looked towards Naruto with pure anger and hatred in his eyes. Previously, he thought that Naruto was a perfect weapon, and now it seemed that he was no weapon. He was a enemy in the midst. As Naruto simply chuckled at that. Now, Danzo, it is time that you become one of them, my weapon. As Naruto finally stood up, as Danzo gritted his teeth at that. Enough. As Danzo finally, you can say, unleashed the seal on his arm and finally brought out his, you can say, Mangekyo Sharingan. As Naruto simply chuckled at that. The Mangekyo of Shisui Uchiha, I remember when you killed him. As Danzo simply scoffed at that. Do not forget, you were there as well, Uzumaki. You're the one who finally, you can say, unleashed the last hit on that Uchiha boy. It's a pity that he used his, you can say, other Mangekyo Sharingan to cast Izanagi, but you're able to kill him nonetheless. As Naruto simply chuckled at that. Well, you always wanted his Koto Masukami, didn't you, Danzo? As Danzo gritted his teeth at that as he glared towards Naruto. Perhaps you have forgotten what this guy can do, Uzumaki. Now, obey me. With that, Danzo looked directly into the eyes of Naruto, but Naruto didn't even bother to look away as Danzo scoffed at that. Just a brat. And just like that, Danzo activated the Mangekyo version and unleashed his genjutsu towards Naruto. As Naruto was silent for a second, as Danzo burst into laughter. You overestimated yourself, Uzumaki. Now you're under my control. Now obey my orders, hand over the root organization to me, and kill Minato as well as the third Hokage, as there was dead silence in the whole room. But then Naruto started to chuckle. So this is the power of the Kotoma Tsukami. I must say, I'm rather unimpressed. As Naruto casually looked towards Danzo, the power of Alien X is running through the veins of Naruto. Even a powerful dojutsu is nothing compared to the power he holds. As Naruto casually walked towards Danzo and looked towards him as Danzo took a step back in utter fear. But before Danzo can make his move, as Naruto snapped his finger, as Danzo could feel it. As Danzo looked towards his arm has disappeared. As Danzo looked in the direction where his cut off arm was present, and before Danzo could say even anything, his eye was removed violently. As Danzo wanted to scream, but his voice, as if his mouth has disappeared. As Danzo did not know what is going on here, he could only feel his one eye looking towards Naruto. All other sensations of his body had disappeared, and now it is time that you become my weapon, Danzo. And just like that, Naruto put his hand on Shimura Danzo's head as the immense power started to surge in the mind of Danzo. Danzo wanted to scream, but he had lost all sensation over his body and he only opened his mouth. And just like that, Naruto used his power to completely take control of Danzo. Now Danzo has become completely brainwashed fool under the control of Naruto, as Naruto simply smirked at that. Just because Naruto's end goal is to take control of the power of Alien X, that doesn't mean that he will forget the pleasures of this world. As Naruto simply smirked at that and torturing Danzo, this rat in the gutter is one of his pleasures. As Naruto simply smirked at that and decided to walk away. It is time, Shimura Danzo. I've already given you orders. Now obey them. And just like that, Danzo knelt in front of Naruto and said, "As you wish, my liege." As Naruto simply smirked at that and finally disappeared from there. And now let us cut back to Minato Namikaze as he looked towards his sensei and Tsunade. Tsunade-sama, are you ready for this? As Tsunade was silent for a second and finally sighed. This is for Konoha, Minato. I believe that you are worthy enough to be Hokage and I am ready to give you all of my support. As Minato simply nodded at that as he smiled, and finally the doors of the council room were opened as all the Jonins of Konoha were already present there. As Minato finally stepped inside to see that the elder council were already present there along with the third Hokage. As Minato simply smiled towards them and decided to take their seat, while on the other hand Jiraiya and Tsunade also decided to, you can say, walked towards the Jonin, while on the other hand, Tadokage was lately feeling something as if something was off as he looked towards his old friend. The expression on the face of Danzo, it was completely blank, even though Third Hokage cannot see anything out of the, you can say, normal, but he had a strange feeling as if something was really off about Danzo. But before he can think anything more, Minato finally stood up. Alright then, today is gonna be the day we are gonna have the Jonin Council meeting. So if anyone has good ideas how to improve our Konoha, then it is time to present them now. And just like that, Minato decided to take his seat as the Jonin started to give their respective ideas about Konoha and what can be implemented and what cannot be implemented was voted on as the thing started to begin. As in the finally, it was time to end the Jonin meeting, but before anyone can say anything, Minato looked towards Koharu and Elder Koharu, how are you lately? I've heard that lately you are feeling quite problems within your heart and was paying a visit to hospital. Well, Tsunade-sama is here. If you really have problems, you can tell us and Tsunade-sama will definitely help you. Koharu was taken aback at that lately. She was feeling a bit of pain within her heart. So she decided to pay a visit to the hospital, but mostly it was a secretive visit. No one knew about it, not even her old friends knew about it. Even Tadukage and Hamura were taken aback at that. Tadukage had a small frown on his face. What is Minato trying to do? After all, he did not believe that Minato was worried about the health of the Elder Council, as Minato simply shook his head at that. In reality, it is my mistake, Koharu-sama. I must have put a lot of pressure on you. After becoming Hokage, I wanted to have everything. I must say that I was rather selfish. You, as the elders, have worked really hard for Konoha. For all of these years, you have supported me behind the scene. I'm rather happy about it. But I was rather selfish. You, in your old age, should be happily spending time with your family, but you are busy helping me manage Konoha. That was bad of me. I should have thought more of you, elders. And I have decided it is time that I let you have a happy time with your family and let you retire. This statement shocked everyone there. People were not fools. These were all Jonins and they were partners in Konoha. So they quickly realized that this was a power move from Fourth Hokage trying to grasp the power of the Elder Council. When Koharu heard that, she wanted to slap Minato right then and there. How dare this guy try to take away her power? Her power is more precious to her than her whole life. But there could be thousand disagreements within the upper echelons of Konoha, but they cannot show it so openly in front of everyone. As Third Hokage simply smiled at that. Do not worry, Minato. We are happy to contribute to Konoha. And I believe that Elder Koharu's health problem were already solved, so you need not worry about them. And I believe that there is no one who can help you more manage Konoha than Elder Koharu. She has experience and prestige. So, as for her happily spending her time with her family, I believe that there is still time for her to do that. As Minato simply smiled at that and looking towards Tadukage. Do not worry, Lord Third. I believe that Elder Koharu and Elder Hamura wanted to have some rest in her life. And do not worry, I have already thought of the replacements. And just like that, Minato slapped his hand together as two figures stepped forward. These two figures shot everyone that was present there. These were none other than Jiraiya and Tsunade. Even Tadokage opened his mouth for a second and closed them, not knowing what to say at this point. While on the other hand, Hamura and Koharu were furious about the situation. They cannot say that Jiraiya and Tsunade are not worthy enough to replace them. They were getting old. That is beside the point. After all, this was just an excuse, but now the situation has become that who is more worthy of the position of elders of Konoha, Koharu and Hamura, who used to be the bodyguards of second Hokage, and people has only heard of their achievements are Jiraiya and Tsunade, who were the commander in the second and third Great Ninja War. Many of the Jonins that are present here had actually worked under Jiraiya and Tsunade, and those who have not worked under them has been treated by Tsunade. So there is no one who will disagree to this matter. Even Tadokage had little to say in the matter, as Minato smiled at that. Do not worry, Elder Hamura. Elder Koharu Konoha is in good hands. I believe that Jiraiya-sama and Tsunade-sama will happily take over the responsibilities that were given to you, and you guys can spend your years with your family happily. As Koharu and Hamura look towards each other and then they look towards Danzo and Tadokage, hoping that these two old friends will help to them as third Hokage cannot say things openly. After all, he liked his image too much. Only Danzo can rescue them now. After all, a person like Danzo, he will definitely accuse Minato of, you can say, disrespecting elders and taking away power, and he will make a mess. And then third Hokage can step forward, trying to mediate, and matter will be dropped, and everyone will forget about it. So all of them look towards Danzo, while on the other hand, Danzo finally stood up as he looked towards Minato. Minato was ready to counter argue his case. After all, the matter is such that now all the people are now supporting Minato, but Danzo opened his mouth and shocked everyone. I agree with the Hokage. It is time that we old bones retire and hand over Konoha to the young people. This statement utterly shocked everyone. Even Third Hokage dropped his pipe, looking towards Danzo as if he was looking towards an alien. As Danzo looked towards Koharu, Hamura, and Third Hokage, Koharu, Hamura, Hiruzen. We are getting old, and it is the era of young people. I believe that we have done everything that we could for Konoha, and it is time that we retire. And I would like to also nominate myself for retirement if Fourth Hokage allows it. Even Minato could not believe his eyes, wondering if he was under a genjutsu or if he was truly sleeping and this was just a dream, as everyone was dead silence. And do not worry, Fourth Hokage, I have already thought of a replacement for myself. And just like that, Danzo, you can say, slapped his hand together in a clap, and just like that, the door of the council room opened up. Let me introduce to everyone my chosen successor for the leadership of Root, and my chosen successor for the position of Elder of Konoha. As when the figure finally appeared, everyone looked towards this figure, as the figure still had the fox mask open in his face, while on the other hand, several Root Ambu appeared and started to give some papers to the Jonin, as the Root Ambu finally gave papers to Minato, as well as the third Hokage, and Jiraiya, and Tsunade, and Koharu, and Hamura, as all of them looked towards the, you can say, few file in their hand. These were the mission records of Fox, which he has done for Konoha under my orders. These were S-rank mission. Even you can say getting rid of Grass Village. When everyone saw that, everyone looked towards Naruto in utter shock. Well, they still believe that he is a fox Ambu, while Minato looked towards Naruto with a complicated expression on his face. He already had his suspicions. He was 80% sure of the matter, but you can say the fox was there. While Tadokage was running his mind, what is going on here? How could Shimura Danzo give up his power? He is, for God's sake, Shimura Danzo. He will never give up his power. Such a thing doesn't exist whatsoever. As he was looking towards Danzo, trying to see if he was in some kind of genjutsu or anything like that, but he cannot sense anything. While on the other hand, he is my chosen successor, and his strength is already on a level of a Kage. He has completed 130 S-rank missions, and he is qualified to become the elder of Konoha. As everyone look towards, you can say, Fox, you can remove your mask and show everyone who you truly are. As Naruto simply nodded at that and finally grabbed his mask and removed it. When everyone saw the face, they were taken aback at that. One look at Minato, the fourth Hokage, and one look to Naruto. They quickly realized the relationship between them. As Naruto looked towards Minato, it has been some time, father. As Naruto looked towards Minato with a smirk on his face, Minato did not know at this point what to say. He had his suspicions, but now, looking towards Naruto, this was his own firstborn, the son he had abandoned, and now his very son has become one of the elders of Konoha. Even Minato had realized that he cannot do anything about the matter. While he can replace Koharu and Hamura, there is no worthy substitution for Root Ambu, while secretly he wanted Itachi to be the leader of Root, but that would have been for another day. But now Naruto has become the leader of Root, and there's nothing he can do about the matter. As Naruto looked towards everyone, as everyone was taken aback at that these were Jonins, they quickly realized who Naruto was. As Naruto smiled towards them and decided to take his seat beside the third Hokage, and gave a small smile to third Hokage as well, who looked towards Naruto with a complicated expression on his face. As Shimura Danzo looked towards Minato. So what do you think of this, Lord Hokage? Is my replacement worthy enough for your approval? As Minato gritted his teeth at that, it is acceptable. As Minato spoke up, he already had realized that if he did not accept Naruto as the elder, and the leader of root of Konoha, then he will not be able to justify the replacement of Koharu and Hamura. And Hamura and Koharu look towards each other, looking the you can say already seeing the dismay in the each other eyes. Even the third Hokage closes his eyes. There's nothing he can do about the matter anymore. And just like that, you can say Minato looked towards the Jonin Council, dismissed, as Minato said. And just like that, the Jonin Council was dismissed. But hey guys, I'm gonna end this part here. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. For the next part, the like goal is gonna be, let's see about it, 100 likes and 20 comments. Do that and I shall upload the next part as soon as possible. So yeah guys, see you soon in the next part. Please leave some comments in the comment section and I will see you soon enough. So yeah, peace.